Welcome to another podcast through my pain. One of the things that bring me pain, that give me pain, is the struggle and the struggle with religion. Oh my God, this is so heavy and so deep. I can't touch on everything in this podcast, but I'm gonna try my best to get this all out and give you the gist of this. Basically, I grew up with a Christian father, Buddhist mother. My father put a Bible in my hand when I was 5 years old. When I was at my father's side of the family, it was Lord Jesus, church every Sunday, and gospel. And my grandmother was a good old Southern Baptist Christian over there on that side, you know. I read my Bible. I loved my Bible. I still love the Bible. I love the stories. I love stories. I love storytelling. I like seeing the experiences that people had in their lives and how they grew through them and they overcame and they struggled and, all of that that you go through in the condition of living. But I've always struggled with religion. I've always struggled with religion. For most of my life, I would say I just flat out tried to, suppress it. I tried to get it in control by praying more, by fasting more, by going to church more. But one thing that I know to be true is that my spirituality, who I am, my morals and my values is not assigned by religion. Because I have spirituality and morals and values that a lot of religious people don't have. And I clearly just don't see it in them. And that's part of the reason why in 2000, I had to stop attending church. I was a member of Truth and Deliverance Christian Center at 5151 West Madison, following the teachings of John T. Abercrombie. And yes, I still remember all of that because I still remember the day that I saw him on television. It was the same day that Muhammad Ali lit the torch. That's why I remember it so well. And I sat there in my bedroom. I was a little girl. You know what year that was that Muhammad Ali lit the torch. I sat there in my bedroom and I was looking at this pastor on television. And I was thinking, I have to find this pastor. That's my pastor. Because I was searching. I was going through so much with my mother and I was going through so much with my sisters and I was so depressed. I had been through this fire, had lost everything, had switched schools, was in a new neighborhood, was dealing with this weight, body images and new boyfriends, and I was an unhappy kid. So I was searching for something. And then I was having these dreams that I didn't exactly know if I could tell anybody about. And I didn't. It was like my little secrets. Tell anybody about the dreams, they're going to think you're weird. I grew up feeling weird. I did. I grew up feeling out of place. But I guess I was supposed to feel out of place because I wasn't like everybody else. And now, as an adult, I realize that's okay. And I hope that all the other little weird children realize that that's okay to be a little weird. It's good to be different. Who wants to be the same? Darn it. Being the same is boring. It means that you have conformed and you fit in and you're in the herd and you're just following the herd. Because when you're weird, you're not following the herd. You stick out, you're different, you're going your own way. So be weird. But I saw this pastor on television and I knew he was my pastor. I just felt like I had to meet him. I felt like I had to sit in them pews. And I didn't even know how to get to 5151 West Madison. But I just knew that one day, some kind of way, I had to find him. I had to be there with him. And then, life went on and I kind of stopped thinking about it and I continued on with my life. And then one day, it was like somebody just came and found me to take me to that church. I was on campus, and the one guy that I chose out of the whole campus, the one guy that stood out to me, the one guy that I looked at, and it's a campus. It's a campus. You have at least, you have hundreds of people on the campus, right? So out of all of the other students that was there, he was the one that I chose, that I liked, that I wanted to get to know, that I wanted to spend some time with. I just kind of looked around and him, not like that, but I was going off of what I felt. And he was a member of that church. I never told him this. I don't think it really mattered. He had a different gift. He had a different ability. He wasn't interested in my gift or my ability. He didn't know why I chose him. He didn't know about the dreams. He didn't know any of that. And he didn't take the time to find out. He didn't care. So he didn't care. And I never really talked about all of the backstory and all of that behind my choices. A lot of times I don't really feel like I need to explain my choices. My choices are good choices. I have a lot of faith and confidence in my choices because I pray so much and I ask for guidance so much. So that by the time I finally make a choice, I have a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in my decisions. I know that they're leading me to something that I need, regardless of how it might go. Which is why, normally I say that none of the guys that I have been involved with were mistakes. They were a very important piece to the puzzle, which is my life. They gave me something that only they could give me. Which is why when I am with a guy, I always get what I want. So anywho, in this whole struggle, of religion, I said, you know what? I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to go to church one more time. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to abstain from sex. Yes, I'm going to be celibate. And I did. I was at church every Sunday. I was praying and reading my Bible 2 or 3 times a day. I did the whole fasting. I went in. I plunged in. I did the big old religion thing. I was in there. And it broke my heart in a million pieces. What became of that broke my heart in a million pieces. And so I decided that religion wouldn't break my heart ever, ever again. I think I realized, I come to accept that religion is just not the answer for me. And it's really not the answer for most people. Because if it were the answer, then some of the problems in our lives would be resolved. I haven't done a survey. I haven't done a research, but I'm really willing to bet that if you did the research and you looked at the religious groups and you took them, you looked at the Muslims, you looked at the Buddhists, you looked at the Christians, you wouldn't see a very big difference in their lives as far as the quality of their lives, as far as their marriages and their households and their happiness and their health and their morals and their values. What is it, this mighty, mighty thing that each person, each different religious group is supposed to be getting, which makes them feel like they are the one? Because I don't see it. There's nothing about religion which is standing out for me and showing me that there is one which is true and right and all holy and magical and whatever else it's supposed to be. So I can't with religion. I can't. I love God. And a lot of times I say Lord and Jesus, Lord and Jesus. I say it a lot. That's just my way of acknowledging the Almighty, the great creator who guides me, who leads me, who protects me until I find a word to replace that, which I probably never will because I've been saying those for so long. And I understand that Lord is a pagan word. Look up word Lord. Lord and lady. Yes, my lady. Yes, my Lord. Where does that come from? Do you know? Everybody was my Lord. Everybody was my lady at the time that that was written. And it was written by who? King James. At the time when the kings and the queens ruled, everybody was my Lord and everybody was my lady. And so Lord falls right in line with that time frame. We need to do more research about the origin of our religions that we're practicing and studying and forcing down each other's throats. And we need to spend more time with God. God is what we need. We need God. God should be leading us. God should be guiding us. Our religion should not be what we see as a connection to God. We are the connection to God. So I can't with religion. And I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way. A lot of people are not going to like it. And so that's why for a very long time I didn't say this. Because there are a lot of fine Christian brothers out there. And there are a lot of fine Muslim brothers out there. And I didn't want to rub anybody the wrong way. But since this is a podcast and I'm talking about my pain, that's part of my pain. The pain of how do I express what I know to be true for me with religion and not be misunderstood and taken the wrong way. Because I don't want to come off as if I am trying to be disrespectful to other people in their religion. And I'm certainly not trying to convince anybody to be spiritual. This is, I mean, your religion is about your own personal spiritual development, and you have to discover what is right for you and what is your truth your own way. But for some time now, I've had different people ask me about religion, like they were, especially Christians. They're always looking for me to say, oh, that I'm Christian and I'm looking for a Christian man and this is what I want. And he has to be Holy Ghost filled and baptized in the water. And no, no, that was never a requirement for me. Although I have a tendency to attract pastors and ministers, and I run like the wind. When the guy tell me he's a pastor or a minister, pew! I'm out of there, baby. I'm out of there. I'm out of there. My mother was a pastor's kid because her father became a pastor later on in life. I dated a minister. Oh my God, no, 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 no. I run like the wind. Uh, I learned from my experiences, and I'm telling you, hey, I don't think that's in it for me. I don't think that's what God has for me, because every time I meet a pastor or a minister, it don't go. Mm-mm. I ain't hard-headed at all. Tell me one time and I'm good.